You're working your corporate job from
Mhm.
9 to 5 and you're running at night.
Correct.
Who are you running for and how did you get that opportunity to be able to have this work with your box
Yeah.
truck?
So what I identified was the best market for me to get into in my city was going to be with Amazon,
Okay.
right? The largest business in the world. And it just so happens that Jacksonville has about 6 distribution centers, right? So for me, that was my target because it was the easiest way for me to get in. It was the most cost effective. And from what I understood, it was going to be the best opportunity. You know, I would
Gotcha.
search different job postings and see things and call brokers and get information. And everybody kept saying Amazon, 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 Amazon. So I identified like, this is what I'm going to do.
Were there any other companies that were on your radar that you could work with, or was it just Amazon?
You know what, bro? It was the fact where once I identified Amazon with a few of them, I didn't care. It was like,
you just stopped right there.
yeah, because this is something like you have to just get started.
Okay.
You know, just get started. And once you get started, more things will come.
Okay.
I was kind of content with that. And honestly, it's one of them things, man, you know, when that job start getting on your nerves, bro, you just looking for, okay, I'll take anything at this point. I just want to start the business because in any business that I've been in, I've always started again from the bare minimum. When I started doing shirts, I started with literally one shirt and a transfer. And that grew to, whether how good or bad it did, it grew into an entire shop where, you know, again, the numbers were the numbers, but we still, you know, were running.
Gotcha.
Right? And so everything, I'm just used to starting absolutely from the bottom and literally getting it out the mud and making the most of it. So I was confident in my pursuit of this that, hey, if you just get started, you'll figure it out.
Now, did you have a CDL?
No.
Okay, because I think a lot of people think you have to have a CDL
Yeah.
to have a box truck. So you don't have to have a CDL at all.
No.
Right? Is there?
Well, that depends on the weight.
Okay, so talk about that.
Okay, so in box trucks, generally what you see primarily in the last mile portion is going to be non-CDL requiring equipment, which means that it's a 26,000 GVW and down. So GVW stands for gross vehicle weight. So as long as the box truck is under that 26,000, it does not require a CDL license. You can drive it without. If it goes a pound above it, at that point, it does require a CDL, maybe a Class B, but it does require a CDL in order to operate it.
Got you. Why is that you see majority non-CDL in the last mile niche as opposed to the ones that are heavier and are CDL required?
I would say it's more so based on the weight of what we are transporting.
Okay.
You know, when you're talking about, you know, I operate 10 trucks nightly in Jacksonville, and, you know, they're literally transporting goods in boxes going to the customers for Amazon. So, you know, Amazon will put a pencil in the box.
Right.
So the weight isn't as much. It does not require as heavy duty of a truck. So it's one of those things where I think from the efficiency standpoint, it just makes sense to use non-CDL specific box trucks in order to retain as much as you possibly can.
Okay.
In your bottom line.
Got you. So so you have your truck, you identify Amazon as a company you want to work for. What did you do to actually did you get a contract with Amazon? How did that work?
Amazon Relay.
Okay.
Amazon Relay it's all there, you know. So with Amazon Relay, you go through a process of pretty much identifying, you know, that you want to carry for Amazon. Of course, they have their requirements, so they'll ask you of insurance requirements, verification of your authority, and pretty much it may take about 2 or 3 days to get verified. You know, Amazon is all about performance, so they will let you in, but you have to perform.
Okay.
You know, you have to have good performance, and the better your performance is, the more you can be rewarded. Because again, my business has solely up to this point been based off of the spot market for Amazon, not contractual work, all being in position, understanding the operation, understanding the times to have trucks posted, and just making the most out of every opportunity they put in front of me has really gotten us to the point that we're at now.
Got you. So when you start working with them, are you dealing with like their own load board? Are you dealing with a specific dispatcher? How does that relationship work when you start building with Amazon initially?
Yeah, so everything is driven by Amazon Relay, which is the load board. So everything, whether their application for navigating to their locations, for checking in, for scanning items, everything is driven through Amazon Relay, which is, like I said, their own personal load board.
Got you. How did you know which loads to take early? Like, how did you know what to accept, what you should accept? What made sense for you when you were looking at your numbers? How did you identify that?
Again, man, you know, when I got in, I did what I had to do, right? So I got with the broker. So again, you know, I was not an expert in it. I knew that. I didn't know anybody that was doing it. You know, I didn't have anybody I could call. I couldn't find any information for this specifically on YouTube, anything. So I found a broker that would bring me in. So for my first 6 months, I was running with a broker and paying 15% to them, you know, which was heavy, you know, and but again, it's the price I paid to get that consistency so that I could learn the game. And then after 6 months, when I got into my second piece of equipment, that's when I learned how to dispatch trucks. So I went from one to two, back to one, to having four. And then I had such a high presence in the city where people would see my trucks and see that I'm running consistently, so they would want to run with me. So now I went from having my own four to I was dispatching 10 trucks every night. So you're talking about, you know, I'm quitting my job. Like, hey, it's a wrap. You know what I mean?
Right.
Let me get what you owe me. I'm done with it. And my first month out, when I knew it was real confirmation, my first month out, in that month, I grossed what my salary was at the job I had just quit.
Got you.
So it was like, you know, okay, God.
In a month.
Yeah, in the month, man. In the month, I made my salary on the top line, but needless to say.
And you said you had a 6-figure job, so this is 100,000 at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So again, it was just one of them things where I just continued to identify that, listen, you know, be patient, you know, stay content with where you're at, because what you're doing right now, it's about to blow. You know, we got this pandemic going on. When it started to happen, in my mind, you know, I'm kind of sitting back, you know, with the Birdman hands, 'cause I'm thinking to myself, well, if they shut down malls and stores and all these other things, that's going to increase the things that Amazon has to ship. You know, that's going to increase the need to get supplies and things to people. So this, what we call identifies last mile, like this is a great space to be in.
Right.
You know, so from that point, I went all in. Right. So my next thing was I wanted to get into vans.
Okay, but before you got into the vans, let's just put into context. Where's your operation at that point? You said you had 10 guys.
Yeah.
10. So are all these your trucks, or do you have people that are working under you? Like, how does that operation go?
Yeah, so it was like 50-50.
Okay.
So out of the 10 trucks, it was 50% of them were no limits, and then the other 50% would be owner operators that I would, you know, allow to run under my dispatch for Amazon.
Okay.
So I just charged them 10%. And then again, that kind of showed me the power is not all in the truck, you know, where I was making revenue with very limited liability, you know, because I had done the appropriate things and been able to, again, connect the dots so I could dispatch owner operators and still generate more money just off dispatching. And
where'd you find those owner operators? You said they found you in a lot of cases too, right? They heard about what you were doing, and they kind of reached out to you?
Yeah, well, again, by me being there, like I say, in the trenches, right? By me being there every single night, building relationships with people, they knew who I was, and they seen me grow from one truck to now they see all these no limit trucks. I put big, bright black and red stickers on my truck so they would see my trucks grow. So they're like, hey, you know, you're doing something right. These are people who may have one box truck, and I would, you know, get drivers say, hey man, you know, the owner operator's not treating me too good. You know, what do you do? And again, by me having been in the role, I understood what makes a good situation for a driver. You know, the things, the smaller things, you know, the appropriate equipment, nice equipment, you know, doing care, you know, things of, you know, just out of care, keeping waters in my truck, you know, calling my people and checking on them, really getting to know my people. So I started to develop my ability to recruit people, and not only recruit them, retain them, because that was the biggest thing that I identified. I can have all the trucks in the world, but I can only drive one truck at a time.
Right.
And I knew that I did not want to drive the trucks all the time. So I committed to doing it so I could learn about it and develop myself. And as I said, it's pretty much effortless for me at this point in time to get drivers as needed, because my drivers bring me more drivers.
Got you. So you literally, because you were there, you literally snatched up people from that working for other carriers, and they're like, come to No Limit.
100%. 100%. You know, hey, if you don't want the owner of your truck, you know, bopping all in your truck, hey man, come on over to No Limit, man.
Come to No Limit.
That's what it was, man. You know, having, you know, things as small as having, you know, nice t-shirts, you know, just the little things, and being a stand-up person really has helped me at this point in time, because as we grew into a bigger scope of things, not just a box truck, the last mile is highly contingent on having good people,
Right.
you
Right.
know, because it's all about volume. So you have to have people to move the packages. So
Mm.
that's the number one asset to me in my experience in trucking, is the people, is my people. And that's why, you know, that's where we're at.